Danny Flexen for Seconds Out, here with Eddie Hearn, promoter or co-promoter, what do we call it?
Don't know, it used to bother me, but not anymore. Chancer,
yeah, professional chancer. For the Haye-Bellew rematch that we're all looking forward to. Looking at the press conference that we've just seen, Haye did not engage in the same way he did in the press conferences before the first fight, or indeed when the rematch was first announced. Was that frustrating for you at all, as someone trying to sell the fight?
No, not really. I don't think this fight needs a lot of selling. The first fight was a good fight. And I think first time around, although they weren't necessarily trying to sell the fight, it needed the selling because no one gave Tony a chance. Now people see it as a 50-50 fight, or I certainly do. And I think what you're seeing is actually quite interesting because you're seeing a guy trying to control his emotions who is normally so cool and calm, but actually you can imagine that Ismail Salas and his team have said, David, don't lose your rag here. Keep it calm. Because last time he lost his rag and he fought like that and he made mistakes, he was erratic. He wants to be the cool, calm David Haye who likes to, set traps and counter punch, and I think he'll fight like that as well. But I just saw, like, you've been around, David, a long time. He normally has an aura and an air of confidence, and I don't see that anymore. He looked a little bit uneasy when he was talking, and he don't really want to be there because he hates Tony Bellew, and he can't believe that he's sitting up there with Tony Bellew, having to rematch him, having lost already. And I think that's going to play an important part, because I think one of David's best attributes in the past was his confidence and his belief. And I'm not sure whether that's there anymore. So I think it's going to be a great fight, because I think it's going to be cagey at first, and then I think they're going to go at it. But I just feel like I know him so well, and I know how much he wants to win, and I know the dogfight that's in him. And although Haye was very brave in that last fight, I just feel when it gets tough and dirty and rough, that he's going to come out on top. And I can see David Haye ending this fight on his stall in the late part of the fight, and that's it. The end of David Haye. Not that we're celebrating it, but that's what I believe is going to happen in this fight. He knows, like he said, he has to put in a good performance to carry on. He says if he wins but scrapes by, that's it. So he's putting pressure on himself as well. But in the first fight, we made the fight, and I was like, yeah, I hope Tony can win, and I could see ways he could do it. Then the rematch got made, and I think, yeah, I believe now. I can't see anything but a Tony Bellew victory in this fight, seriously, and it's going to be interesting.
You're a consummate salesman. To what extent do you buy into this new, calm, composed David Haye?
Not in the slightest. No. Not in the slightest. Again, for him to say things like "you humbled me," like, that's bollocks. Like I say, he cannot stand Tony Bellew. He can't believe that he's having to share a ring with him again. But he needs that composure to put the performance together that he needs to, because he knows now Tony's no joke. And I think genuinely thought Tony was shit going into the first fight, and now he knows he can fight. So he's on it, and that will make him better in this fight. But I just still don't think. I just think too many miles on the clock, too many injuries, too much going on in his life. Promotional businesses and stuff like that. Like, I don't think you can have the same desire when you've got that much going on in your life. It's not a criticism, but to be a fighter, you have to have that will to win. And his will to win is not in the same league as Tony Bellew's will to win.
You said before the first fight that you hoped you would win, and this time you know he's going to win. It must have been immensely gratifying for you to see Tony Bellew upset the odds first time round. How will you feel if he does pull it off again? Will it have the same euphoria? Will it generate the same euphoria?
Because I want him to get the respect that he deserves, and I think the problem with the first fight is, although he got respect, everyone talks about the injury, and you can't give him the full credit because Haye was injured. He caused that injury. He took it to that stage in the fight where he got injured. So you have to give him the credit. But I would love to see him get the credit as the guy who actually, knocked him out or beat him. Because when you look at his career, he's won British, Commonwealth, European title. But the win at Goodison Park was special. Like, to do that. But even back to the wins against, like, Masternak. People forget about those nights. Masternak's a world-class cruiserweight. They had an unbelievable ding-dong for the European cruiserweight fight. He was on peanuts. And he put everything on the line that night. And those sort of nights have led to this. And now he's making fortunes. Good luck to him. But it's not really about that for him. He loves to compete. He's so desperate to beat him again. And the gratitude for victory against Haye on May the 5th will be more for him to get the respect that he deserves. Because he's not aesthetically beautiful because he's, you know, just perceived to be this loudmouth geezer from Liverpool. People are forgetting he's a great fighter, brilliant fighter, clever fighter, and I just want him to get the respect that he deserves.
Now, although you desperately want Bellew to win the rematch as you did the first fight, if Haye were to be successful, he puts himself in the frame potentially for Joshua. He also puts himself in the frame potentially for a rubber match against Bellew. Yeah. So, with your business head on, is there a case? I can't lose? Well, yeah, but is there a part of you that
I want to win? All I want to do is win, and I'm very close to Tony, and I just want to see him win the fight. I don't see the Joshua fight as any kind of potential for Haye right now. Could that change in the future? Maybe. But, you know, Joshua's chasing, obviously, Parker and then Wilder and then Fury if he comes back. But, you know, if Haye wins the fight and wins it well, you know, does he move forward to the big fights at heavyweight? Maybe. If it's a great fight, do you do number 3? Quite possibly. But if you gave me the option of a great fight and then a massive rematch, or the equaliser for number 3, or just a Tony Bellew victory, I'll take the victory all day long.
And why is that?
Just because I'm close to Tony. I just want to win, and I don't, you know, I sound like I'm arrogant, but we've got a great business. Do you know what I mean? So that rematch ain't going to change my life. I just want to win. And that's like that first fight. That win was just, you know, and because of the ups and downs in the fight, like the leg's gone, and then he's beating him up, and it's like, this is it. And then all of a sudden, 3 rounds later, Bellew looks like he's gassing. Haye's still in there, and I'm thinking, fuck, please. It's like, you get to a stage where it's like, please, and then the towel goes in, and it's euphoria. You can't buy those moments, do you know what I mean? So it doesn't matter if you're going to make millions out of a rematch. Those moments live with you forever. So I'd much rather get a nice, easy win, and then move on to another fight, because now he wants more fights. Before, this could have been his last fight. Now he's talking about 4 or 5.